Have you ever canoed down a babbling brook?
No, but I have cried at a Taco Bell.
Oh, same thing. Listen up, campers.
It's time to buckle up, pitch a tent, and take a hike.
Because Camp Counselors is a variety show.
So prepare for a good old-fashioned kumbaya,
Weird news,
hot gossip,
and scary stories around the campfire.
so spooky.
Is this podcast even about camping?
No, but it is camp. This is Camp Counselors. Hey, happy campers! Welcome back to Camp Shady Birch.
It is week 126 here at camp.
Go home.
No, you guys have literally been doing nothing but taking up space and farting a lot.
I talked to Sandwich about the grocery order because groceries are at an all-time high, and there will be no eggs at camp this summer. At this rate, you guys will be eating bark, foraged fruits, and mushrooms from the foraging course we're offering right now. And if anyone wants to donate their Oreos that you're smuggling and you're thieving away in your rooms, please bring some cookies to the mess hall because we're out of food for you guys. It's ridiculous.
And Danimals. I've been craving Danimals.
No, you have not.
No, I really have. If anyone can get their little paws on some Danimals.
There's not a day I've ever woken up in my life and craved yogurt.
Me neither. I honestly, truly, unless it's frozen, do not fuck with yogurt.
There used to be a parfait at Mickey D's as a child. Do you remember
With the berry, yeah.
with the berries and the granola?
The McParfait.
That could not have been healthy because that was decadent. That was morning dessert. I love how pastries are just morning's dessert.
Yeah, a Danish, she's not healthy.
Like the body doesn't wake up and need a blueberry muffin. My body needs it, but like you don't need that to like have a productive day. The protein and the eggs would be good if they weren't $100 an egg right now.
And the body keeps the score, and the body's like, baby, I haven't been happy in a long time. Feed me something good.
Speaking of not being happy,
What?
I have to get something off my chest.
What?
When we were back home, we were at a restaurant that I will not mention by name, that I've loved for years, that has never done me dirty until 2025. One of my favorite local watering holes is kind of slipping in quality control.
Yeah.
Everything we ordered was bad.
It was bad. I don't understand how I ordered fries and then they came like 2 hours old.
I love a restaurant that serves a free like hors d'oeuvre, a bread and butter, if you will.
Correct.
This restaurant always serves Portuguese pops, which are these Portuguese kind of like bulky, kind of like a bulky roll bun. It's every Portuguese restaurant where I'm from has them. They've always had them. It's kind of like a thing. If you go to a restaurant like that, you're going to get a Portuguese pop. They served biscuits. Frozen biscuits, which would be fine if I was anywhere else, but you can't switch up the classic on me. Yeah. And that was kind of the tipping.
It really was.
The tipping of the downfall of one of my favorite spots. I'll go back this summer and I'll try it again, but like, wow, way to leave a bad taste in my mouth. And to make matters worse, salt in the wound, some would say, the game was on.
The big game. Which game?
Couldn't tell you.
Not sure.
But I looked behind your head and I saw something quite alluring. An infomercial that was looping for more than 30 minutes. Actually, I think I had a full 30-minute window of just promoting this weird stationary bike, but remove the entire bike and just have the foot pedals on the floor. So you're sitting in a seat, but it's moving your feet in a circular bicycle kind of movement.
It was Pop-Up's Peddler. That's what it was.
Pop-Up's Peddler for the senior citizens who need to work on blood flow.
I think that's really what it is. I don't think it was for working out as much as like, good for your joints. It was a tiny little bike thing.
It looks like the size of what a foot massager would be.
Essentially a bread box.
I guess the machine could be used for anyone that has like a blood flow issue. But what I thought was funny about it initially, from minute 1 to 9, I thought you had to pedal it yourself. But then I realized it's a remote control. So the thing just pedals it for you. So you're just kind of kicking your little tippies.
Yeah, you're kind of just tucking your toes in there and taking them for a little Ferris wheel ride.
So while the entire restaurant's watching the big game, Jonathan and I are watching the 30-minute infomercial as we eat.
On mute, mind you.
And I'm not even sure what it was called.
I'm going to call it Pop-Up's Peddler. I have no idea.
I think it kind of opened Pandora's box and opened a conversation throughout our meal that was wretched. We were discussing what infomercials really stuck out in our childhood, the kind of things that would loop on for like 2 hours like in between channels that you get stuck into and you're like, wait, what are they selling and do I want it? Jonathan, was there like an infomercial that you loved growing up that really tickled your tits?
Oh, I loved an infomercial. I was sat for whatever they were selling, whether I needed it or not. And we're not talking about commercials per se. We're talking about what you said before, like the 30-minute to hitting the 45-minute time marker, sometimes up to an hour.
Yeah, ABC Family 3 p.m. or TBS or TNT.
Or Spike TV.
Yeah.
Now we're just naming channels.
No, because those channels had those.
And it was usually at like the ass crack of dawn or really late for me, at least. So back in 2005, my brother went to he was on a mission trip with the church, capital HIM. And he was going to Katrina to do like some cleanup. So naturally I had to make it about myself. And I went to the church at 3 a.m. and we dropped him off and I was crying. I was like, I'll be okay. Like, it's like a really hard time for me, let alone the people in Katrina.
Why were you crying because your brother was going to Katrina?
I was upset. I didn't know what he was going to face. I was like, are they going to have another one at any minute? I didn't know. Okay. I was like 4. I was like 4 when it happened.
That you were, I'll do the math for everyone who doesn't know it.
Don't do that.
Okay, so you were 11.
And what? And craving attention. That's what. So I went home and I couldn't sleep. I was like, well, how can I sleep in trying times like this? You know, my brother's going to Katrina.
Your brother was going to New Orleans.
Yeah, no, he was.
Katrina is the hurricane.
Oh my God, I didn't mean to say that. God help me.
He was going into the eye of the storm, someone said.
He really was.
This isn't funny.
And
We're
no, I'm not.
So offensive at the start of the
Everybody
show.
knows seriously treacherous. I'm not making light of the situation. I'm just like calling myself an idiot, which I am. So I'm watching Chicken Run, obviously.
Classic.
It ends far too soon. And
Adult Swim.
Well, it wasn't. I don't even know what it was on.
Oh, I was thinking of what was the
Robot Chicken.
Sorry.
Robot Chicken ass. And when that's done, I watch what comes on next, which is an infomercial for the Magic Bullet. And I remember that was the first time I had ever watched it. And I would catch it anytime it was on from there on after. And it really took me back to that time and how the Magic Bullet was there for me. If you don't know, the Magic Bullet was, possibly still is, a single serving blender that takes up no more space on your counter than a coffee cup. Do you remember the commercial that I'm talking about?
Of course I remember the commercial.
It was an ensemble cast. It's like the two hosts. I don't remember what the guy's name was, but I remember the girl's name was Mimi.
Okay, that's such a memorable name, of course.
Yeah, and she had like this little like kind of, not a Karen haircut, but where you put like mousse in your hand and you zhuzh it. She had the
crunchy?
zhuzh. It was kind of crunchy.
A crunchy curl?
Yeah, it was like a 2005 crunch, granola crunch. And everybody who was in their house in this little infomercial was quite the character.
Was she making smoothies for everyone in the house?
Oh, baby. She was making smoothies. She was, this is foul. This was foul. She was making omelets. And at the time,
I remember I do. Can I ask a question?
You may.
Did she make salsa?
She made salsa fresh from the garden.
Of course she did.
I wasn't buying that. She got those tomatoes from her garden, but that's neither here nor there. But they were just showing off how versatile this little blender was. So the guy's making smoothies for the hungover dude who comes in, and I'm like, he was grumpy and his tie was all. He was wearing yesterday's like work outfit. And it was like supposed to be a Saturday morning. And they're like, oh, look at you, little hair of the dog. No, there's no alcohol in this, but there could be if you'd like. This is a mixed berry smoothie, of course.
Yes.
And then wait. What I was going to say was the omelet. She put the eggs in there with everything that would go in an omelet.
Vegetables and ham?
Ham cubes that she ran through the blender.
Did she cube them via the blender, or were they already cubed before the blender?
They were cubed, then she put them in the blender. So,
so they're shredded.
It all came out like one solid goo.
An omelet, if you will.
It was all an omelet, but I'm like, that makes sense if you want to just do the egg. But why do you have to put everything else in there? And maybe like spinach.
Because she's selling the versatility of the blend.
I suppose, but that was really foul. Then you could also like grind up your beans and what else? Oh, wait,
for coffee?
Yeah, for coffee.
Oh my God.
I know. I'm trying to sell it to you folks. And then they had Hazel, the classic character who walks into the kitchen with a lit cigarette. And she goes, I hate garlic. I hate the way garlic makes my hands smell. She was a memorable bitch. She was very much like the mom from The Nanny. It was incredible, and I was sold. I was hooked. And again, it took up no more space on your counter than a coffee mug. Check that out right there. 6 easy payments of $59.95.
It was not that much money.
I don't think so, but I think it was probably in like the 20s, but they would always be like 7 payments.
They love to split up the payments to make it more accessible.
Yeah, plus free shipping and handling, obviously.
That was a good one.
That was a good one I remembered. What did you remember?
My favorite infomercial of all time was Meaningful Beauty by Cindy Crawford. It was her skincare line.
Meaningful Beauty.
Meaningful Beauty. And the trick was in the French melons.
Of course.
They were selling this scheme that they were extracting this very important piece of like DNA from these very fancy melons from a certain region of France that would not age. And halfway through the commercial, they would show a sliced normal melon, like a cantaloupe, side by side with this special French melon. And then they would do an age progression and cantaloupe would get rotted, but not the special French melon.
No, never.
And that was to promote like the skin collagen in your face, your like in the face cream. But it was called Meaningful Beauty by Cindy Crawford. And I would watch it, the full 30 minutes of it. Cindy was so stunning in it. And the melon looked so delicious. And I always wanted to try it. And I just researched it before the show. It's still for sale.
Really?
Yeah. It's
How much is it going for?
I don't remember the price of it. I think she's expanded her offerings, but it's still under the Meaningful Beauty umbrella.
And it's still under her?
Mm-hmm. And she still has the melon serum.
Good for her. Where are those melons coming from? I know you said France, but like I want to get my hands on a melon.
On Amazon, it has 4.5 stars out of 1,000 reviews. So those could be purchased. They could be fake. But overall, I think people were saying on Reddit that it's overpriced, but no one was saying it didn't work.
Oh, and that is truly what we're looking for.
Yeah, I think I don't mind a celebrity endorsed skincare brand.
Visually, what is she doing? Because in my head, there's like a bridge or a dock. I'm seeing sepia tones, but I feel like that's incorrect. But
no, it was all highlighted in whites, kind of like a lavender, and then that orange from the cantaloupe. And the packaging initially was this gorgeous little swirl, like a DNA swirl.
Oh, a helix.
A helix between orange and purple with a very kind of silver bubblegum kind of like, I don't know, like metallic.
Okay, so a little less spa and a little more like Frutiger Arrow.
Kind of the mix, spa Frutiger Arrow. Yeah, it wasn't sepia. That was definitely not her vibe. It was very fresh, youthful, springy, supple, some would even say.
So it was like just a moisturizer?
Yeah, I think it was
not just a moisturizer. That's not what I'm trying to say.
I don't want to cease and desist, but there must have been some retinol in it. But it also made me think of another one that I want to bring up, and it was called Wen by Chaz Dean, and it was a shampoo. And this could take your hair from frizzy and dull to sleek and shine.
Yes.
Another one. And I remember looking at Chaz Dean and saying, this is the gayest man I've ever seen. I remember his denim being so washed, but so dark at the same time. Real spooky shit. And he had like flat ironed hair. And I remember like, oh, this is like gorgeous. I would love to try it. In high school, I come down to my shower one day because we had one bathroom for the whole family. I get in the shower. My mom has 2 bottles of Wen by Chaz Dean.
Mom, when did you get these?
But I was like so very hyper aware of like my girliness in that time.
So you're telling me you didn't try it?
No, I tried it, but I couldn't go gab with my mom and be like, Mom, I can't believe you got Chaz Dean Wen's product.
No, literally, look, it's locked in the moisture.
So it was a very private moment for myself in the shower, like celebrating a new product.
What did it smell like?
I don't remember, but for me, stuff like that isn't great. It's like, it basically was like almost a conditioner shampoo. Like
milky.
It was just, I didn't need that. I need some texture in my hair. It's too flat if I don't have it. So it didn't give me the results I was looking for my hair texture. But once again, a product that is still sold. And the branding for that, very, dare I say, Ice Age. Almost like...
What?
So what I mean by that
to look this up.
is the child from Ice Age, that scary animation. Like picture like some sort of terracotta brown stone, and you're taking your finger and you're writing W-E-N in the mud, and it's kind of like swoop, and it's almost Navajo. It's very it's very come to nature. Yeah. Can I see it, please?
It's very eco-beige.
Almost Asian inspired.
Yeah, it's very eco-beige. Sweet almond mint. Cleansing. Okay, it's a cleansing conditioner. That's why.
They'll sell you on anything, won't they? My mom was sold.
Oh, wait, this is the guy?
Oh my God, there he is. That's Chaz Dean.
So I've never seen him and I never saw the commercial, but I know the products because, forgive me, Father, if I'm incorrect, but is that not sold in like Home Goods or Marshalls?
Well, now it is. Of course it is now. But he
That's
was
where
doing
I've
like
seen
the
it.
demo, because a real like trick of the trade when it comes to these long infomercials is the demo. The devil's in the demo. Did she wash half her hair? The picture you're looking at?
You're not going to believe what it says under this.
What is it? Jonathan is showing a picture of a product review.
And I love the hand. It's very much like, ooh.
What is she saying about it?
Wen hair loss accusations by Business Insider.
Oh no. So there's my reason for my bald spot.
Women are accusing a hugely popular celebrity shampoo brand of making them go bald December 15th, 2015 at 4:38 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
I'll have to reach out to my mother after this and say, Mom, you better not be using Wen anymore.
Yeah, you better not, baldy bitch.
Can I mention one more because we're on the topic of my mother?
Yeah, of course.
My mother was a victim, or some might say the winner, the victor.
The victor.
Of the BareMinerals craze of the early 2000s. Were you familiar with that?
I was familiar, yeah.
BareMinerals swept the nation in a very unexpected way when it came to foundation, concealer, and eyeshadow, but it wasn't cream honey, it was powder. And my mom had basically an artistry kit of a variety of colors and powders all under the BareMinerals family. And I remember specifically that I think BareMinerals is still sold, and I think some people still like swear by BareMinerals, but obviously like makeup has blown up even more since then. But I remember breaking out so bad when in like late middle school, early high school. And it's because I had flippy hair and the grease would just give me like all this bad acne on my forehead.
In the T-zone.
So I specifically had a really bad breakout right in between my eyebrows. And right before school, I opened up secretly because her makeup was kept under the sink. And I opened it up and I didn't want anyone to know I was putting makeup on. And I took the worst color match shade I've ever seen. Mm-hmm. I was like, oh, I'm white, so let me get the Snow White powder. Yeah. And I blotted it on this pimple. So it basically looked like some sort of cultural appropriation makeup, because I'm walking to school with my greasy skin and this one center in between my eyebrows of white visible makeup, but there's a pink underlay because it's the acne and it's not blended. And the rest of my face is greasy, but that part's matte, almost gray.
Ew, yeah.
And I was like, that's me, baby. You wouldn't even know I'm breaking out.
A lot of that makeup back then, especially with like just being dumb and not knowing, and young and like not knowing color match. Like I had one as well. It wasn't BareMinerals, but it came in a little, like, it looks like a little nipple when you would take the thing out and you would squeeze it. It would have the smallest amount of liquid foundation.
BB cream.
Almost a BB cream. I had BB creams and those just did not do me any favors, I'll tell you that. But I swore up and down that they were. And it would make my acne on my face look purple. Like I needed a color correction. I needed something green tinted to really overcompensate for the redness of my skin.
We didn't know.
When I'd walk to school, I'd be like, no, I'm not wearing makeup. What the heck do you even mean? And I was, and it was bad.
Wow.
Yeah, but that wasn't on an infomercial. I don't know if I saw a BareMinerals infomercial. I just feel like I remember seeing them in print and in the stores a lot when I would go.
I'm not sure either.
I would be remiss if I didn't mention Billy Mays, Mr. OxyClean.
His death rocked the nation.
It rocked the nation. It was very unfortunate.
How did he die?
It was a heart condition, but they found cocaine in his system.
Oh my God.
He didn't die of an overdose, but I think he had partook or had it in his system a couple of days before, but he had heart issues and he didn't have like a strong heart, I guess.
And he was blowing lines.
Yeah. And I
want
think
to party with Billy Mays. That would have been fun.
Well, babe, he's passed, so we can't.
Well, in another life, I think he would have been a hoot.
He would have been a hoot. I loved him. I always thought he was so sexy.
Well, and now you're taking it into it. I never looked at him and said sexy.
I did.
He looked like he could make a fat pizza.
Yeah, he could.
He had a great recipe for a tetrazzini calzone.
But he did so many things, and that was really just his personality. I think that's what sold it, was everyone could see through it. Like, hey, Billy Mays here, and you knew you were in a safe space.
Well, then he partnered with that British guy. And the two of them were going head to head on commercials as a duo. The British kind of version. And then when the ShamWow man came in, I said, whoa. There's already a really crowded pool here.
Oh, Vince Offer.
I don't want to know his name because he reminds me of some sort of villain.
Is he a bad guy? In my opinion, because he likes to sue people, I don't believe, in my opinion, he is a good guy. He sued Anna Nicole Smith in 2000 for $4 million.
For what did Anna Nicole do to him?
She allegedly,
she bought a ShamWow.
No, allegedly was supposed to show up in one of his films that he made in the 90s. He made like a comedy film that also had lawsuits that I won't get into, but she didn't, quote unquote, didn't show up. So he said that they lost almost $100,000. And for
was that, 100 or was it not?
He sued her for $1 million. And I don't
damages.
I don't know damages.
Just
I don't know if you want or not.
Classic case of damages.
Damages and distress. That's really what it was. Yeah, I don't like that guy. He did ShamWow, which love the product. That's fun. I never had one.
I had one.
Did it feel like, in my head, it felt like what cowhide on the inside of a cowhide?
Not what it felt like.
Oh, okay. Well, that's just what it felt fleshy in my mind's eye.
It was more of like a mouse pad had a baby with a microfiber like blanket.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And did it really absorb like he was selling it as?
Well, you saw the videos. You can't fake water being absorbed.
I loved that shit. That definitely was satisfying.
I feel like infomercials paved the way for Shark Tank in a way.
Yeah. Shark Tank really is one big competitive infomercial.
Well, the thing is, there's a science behind an infomercial. It's almost like adult Coco Melon in a way, where it's like, no, it's serious. They're eye catching you with a demo, and then they're switching shots and they're doing something new, so that right when you're like not into it anymore, they're already on to the next demo, and you're like, well, how is this vacuum going to pick up Cheerios, coffee grounds, and tomato juice?
Yeah, and then she'll pull something else out.
She'll pull it out of her ass. And I think Sharknado,
I was going to say Shark Tank.
Shark Tank saw that people like to see how things work, but they elevated it though, for sure, with the pitches and stuff and the drama. And those people became their own celebrity in a certain way.
Some things I see on Shark Tank and I'm like, I get that you're marketing something, but this has literally been done and none of the sharks know about them.
Shark Tank is American Idol for investors, but there's only 1 week.
Angel investors. I love that.
Another fun product.
Oh my God, we have more.
I have 2 more.
We'll throw in 2 more. That's right.
Just when you think you're done, you're not. We have more. This one was kind of gross.
What?
The Ped Egg.
Gross.
It basically was a cheese grater for your calluses.
Yeah.
And I just have one funny story about it that I don't know if I told it on the podcast before, but I had a really good friend growing up who I knew my entire life, who I haven't connected with in a long time. I should reach out. But she had a really big sectional in her living room that was brown and leather that had the built-in cup holders and it curved. Mm-hmm. Are you getting it? Can you see it in your mind's eye?
I'm seeing it. I'm sitting in it. I'm comfortable. Don't wake me up.
Yes. And her dad was very much like, I'm going to lay out with basketball shorts, t-shirt, and his tube socks on a weekend.
Of course. After he mows the lawn. Mm-hmm. He's just, his job's done. His job is done.
And his family is everything.
Time for daddy to relax.
So I went over to her house after school one day because we were always together. And I sat down on her couch and I looked into the cup holder. And it was the detached bottom of the Ped Egg.
No.
The catch-all.
No.
And it was full to the brim.
Zach.
And I looked at her. I said, is this a Ped Egg? Because the thing is, Ped Egg is almost like Google, where you can use it as a verb or like a noun. Like
that's literally not true.
Ped Egg it.
That's not true.
I said it before. But right. I say, is this a Ped Egg? Because I call her by her name. I know the name. Is this a Ped Egg? She was so mortified. And like me and her were so close at this point, like, there was no need to be this embarrassed. And like we talked about everything together. We knew everything about each other. This took her breath away. She has never been more embarrassed in her life at this point. I swear to God. She shuffles, she runs over.
Oh God.
She scoops it up. She's like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And she leaves the room. She left me alone for probably 5 minutes, and I can only assume she had to collect herself because it was so damaging to her. And to this day, like, I think her reaction made it so much more memorable to me because I was like, did she leave the house? And then she came in and was like, you want a snack?
She's like, maybe he'll forget he was hanging out with me.
Oh my God, I can never forget it. Like, she was mortified.
Was it hers or was it Papa's, do you think?
So there's no way it was hers because she was so gorgeous. And like, I'm sorry, like if you are at a level of gorgeousness as she was, like you can't callous that. You cannot callous it.
Oh no, hot bitches get calluses too.
And she was a dancer.
Oh.
So maybe her embarrassment came from like her knowing it was her pet egg.
And it could have been.
It wasn't labeled.
Listen, the pliés, they gotta be on point.
I went to 15 of her dance recitals. That's not true. I went to, I think, 7 of her dance recitals.
You should text her right now and be like, hey, how are you doing? Just thinking of you.
If I said pet egg to her, she would just, I think she'd block me.
Oh my God, babe. The message would go green.
I definitely brought it up later in life and she remembered it. So I know like that stuck with her like it stuck with me. This is gross. So I need to switch for my last product.
Okay.
This one was fun. This one took the industry by storm, and it was the Topsy Turvy.
Oh, please. Oh my God. Get me the Topsy Turvy.
It was a way to grow tomatoes from home, but not just any tomatoes, upside down tomatoes.
It was Topsy and it was Turvy.
Do you know that song when Beyonce goes, "World stop, carry on." That when I saw the first Topsy Turvy commercial, world stop, carry on into my shopping cart.
See what that reminds me of is that song that's like upside down, boys in me inside out.
Oh, that's what Topsy Turvy is giving to you.
Yes,
it's
so
the cosmic rewind of the vegetable growing process.
No, it really is. And I think it's because do tomatoes grow upside down?
I think they just were like tomatoes will grow. Like anyone who's ever grown tomatoes, if you can get them to grow, they're overwhelming. They almost overtake a garden. So they're probably like, what is the easiest vegetable to grow? And let's just put it upside down.
I wonder what the science behind that could be. Maybe it makes it sweet, the sweeter the juice.
They always kind of described it more as like a space saver.
Oh.
They were like, grow it indoors. I don't know. They were like, it's your Topsy-Turvy. Do what you want with it. It's not up to us.
That's so weird. They're like,
was it hydroponic? It must have been. Of course it was. It wasn't in the soil.
Hydroponic.
Hydroponic, growing without soil.
What?
You don't know what hydroponics is?
No, I thought it was like a sound system.
No, hydroponics is the art of growing vegetables or vegetation without any soil.
Name something.
I did a whole project on hydroponics where I drilled holes into PVC pipe and had running water with nutrients flowing through the water system through the roots of my vegetables.
I said name them and I haven't heard one named.
Okay. Did you ever go on wait, you've literally been on the Epcot ride. My favorite.
Oh, Land of the Lost.
Living on the land.
Living with the land.
Living with the land. And when it would run upside down, the water runs through the roots.
And then the craziest thing is I still haven't heard anything named. Like, are we talking butter lettuce, bib lettuce, like a vegetable?
You can do anything hydroponic, and now I'm getting mad. Anything can be grown hydroponically.
I thought hydroponic was like a category of vegetable.
No, it's the category of growth.
Well, it's a new word for me, so I'm still getting used to it.
And now I'm feeling defensive.
Okay, well, clearly I just needed a lesson, and my teacher's yelling at me. Yeah, teacher, don't yell at me.
Have you seen those like memes of like kids? It's like the child trying to like learn multiplication, and like the mom's holding a belt. She's like, do it again. And she's like, what's 2 times 2? And the kid's like, 3, and she's like, it's fucking 4. Like,
oh my God. Thank God my parents weren't like that. I just didn't get math like that. But I remember sitting at the table for way too long, and numbers didn't make sense for me. And then when I started to think about them too much, everything fell apart. I would spiral, literally.
I swear to God, my parents, after 3rd grade, they were like, you're on your own, because they didn't know. They were like, we deadass don't know either.
And none of it matters. I will not forget.
None of it matters at all. It's so true.
We were learning about probability, and I was wrapping my head around probability, and for a second I got it. And I remember I was like, oh my God, I get it, like obviously. And then in that same instant, I didn't get it. And I was like, okay, well, if there's 5 black rocks in a hat and 1 white rock, and I pull the white rock out, the probability doesn't matter because I just defied all the odds. And I asked the teacher that, and she was like, She was like, what are you talking about?
Not
and I was
like poetic about it.
But I wasn't trying to be poetic. And I was so in my head, I was like, wait, what do I mean? Am I being dumb? Was that a dumb question? And then after that, I was like, I haven't a clue.
You literally were giving like Katie Heron, the limit does not exist.
No, the limit, that ass does not exist.
When the way that was unfolding in Mean Girls when she says that part, and then I'm like, oh my God, she's so right. As if I was following anything that was happening.
No, 100%.
I have a thought for parents out there, and I don't have kids, so take this or don't. But if you have a child that's struggling in one subject, I think it's okay to kind of just push them along and get them to the finish line here, because in the real world, I think we all have to remember that there is really no need. It's not necessary for you to be great at everything. I was not good at math and sciences. I was good at English and history. You know what I mean? Like, I think we all kind of lead towards one or the other, but I don't think to be a full functioning, well-rounded adult, you have to be good at everything in terms of academics.
Correct.
Like, you have to try, but like if say your kid's good at a lot of things, but in math, they're not doing so great in, let it go. It's okay.
Yeah.
They're going to be fine. Get them the resources they need to get by, but your kid doesn't have to know calculus and AP Lit. Like,
right. And it's like, oh my, we have to think about college. I'm not going to take that away from you, but let me tell you, your child will be in debt.
Yeah, send your kid to state school and let them live at home if they can. Because set yourself up for your child to be able to buy a house and not have to rent until the senior citizens.
Oh my God.
It's stressful out there.
I am currently in a lawsuit with one of the schools, and I can't get out of debt until the lawsuit is over.
Because the school lost accreditation. And guess what? I'm sure your high school was pushing you to apply to it.
Oh, anyway.
So that being said, maybe your child should go into the art of marketing.
And Topsy Turvy. This episode is sponsored in part by ZocDoc. When was the last time you needed to go to a doctor, but you pushed it off? You made the excuse, I'm too busy. It'll heal on its own. I don't know which doctor to go to. I think we've all been there. Booking a doctor appointment can feel so daunting, but thanks to ZocDoc, there's no reason to delay. They make it easy to find and book a doctor who's right for you. ZocDoc is a free app and website where you can search and compare high-quality in-network doctors and click to instantly book an appointment. We are talking about booking in-network appointments with more than 100,000 doctors across every specialty, from mental health to dental health, primary care to urgent care, and so much more. ZocDoc makes it so easy to filter for doctors who take your insurance, are located nearby, and are a good fit for any medical need you may have. You can also check who's highly rated by verified patients. Once you find the right doctor, you can see their actual appointment openings, choose a time slot that works for you, and click to instantly book a visit. And appointments made through ZocDoc also happen fast, typically within just 24 to 72 hours of booking. You can even score same-day appointments. So stop putting off those doctor's appointments and go to ZocDoc.com/camp to find and instantly book a top-rated doctor today. That's ZocDoc.com/CAMP. ZocDoc.com/camp.
Attention campers, please meet at the old flagpole under the tall pine for morning announcements.
Welcome back to Morning Announcements, campers. This is the part of the show where we share news articles with you that you might have missed, that we want you to spread like wildfire. Jonathan, what is your article of the week?
This is so full circle. And I didn't even plan this because I didn't know you were going to talk about that. But my article is coming from UPI by Ben Hooper.
And Chaz Dean.
And the title of it is Vienna's Vegetable Orchestra Earns World Record by Playing with Food.
I don't even know what any of that meant.
Well, I will explain it. The world's first and possibly only orchestra to exclusively make music from vegetable instruments
Gourds.
was awarded a Guinness World Record.
Oh, we're back on the world record bullshit. Slow news week, campers.
Terrible news happening. So they earned this world record after playing 344 concerts over the course of 27 years.
Oh, and they finally got the world record? They should have given that years ago. Who's competing with them?
Well, I think 344 concerts was the most amount of concerts, I think.
Made with vegetables?
No, just of all time. That's not true.
The way
That's literally like Casey Musgraves on tour like one time.
Trans-Siberian Orchestra will not quit.
No, it can't. Okay.
And they shouldn't.
The 11-piece vegetable orchestra was formed in Vienna, Austria in 1999 when musicians of various backgrounds came together with the idea of carving vegetables into instruments.
Can I say something really quickly?
Yeah.
I feel like, is Vienna rooted in music? It seems like the place.
I don't know.
Almost like the most sacred ground of music.
I don't know.
At its most like fundamental point.
Like a root vegetable.
Yes.
It all started as a joke. Founding member Matthias Menhart told BBC. He said the founding 4 members had been signed up for a performance art festival in Vienna. We were brainstorming what we could do, and we thought, what is the most difficult thing to play music on? We were making soup together at the time, and one idea led to another. Mm-hmm. Their performers have now perfected the art of playing with their food. Their instruments include carrots carved into recorders and leeks into mandolins.
Wow.
The orchestra was awarded the Guinness World Record for most concerts by a vegetable orchestra after playing their 344th show.
I promise you, I'll go on record and put my whole bussy into this. They could have got that world record a little sooner. There's no way that someone did 343 record. Like me playing with my carrots at dinner time with drums.
You're like, bitch, you had enough. You could have done that. So the musicians have to carve fresh vegetables before every single performance because the instruments only last 6 hours before they rot or lose their shape, making them not playable.
Oh my God, so laborious.
Every single show. Yeah, and they're actually like meticulously doing it. Most of the time they take drills because I think that's like one of the easiest ways to do it. Yeah.
We can't be whittling the radish.
Oh my God.
VeggieTales ass.
VeggieTales ass. And unused vegetables are made into soup and served at their concerts. The spent instruments are turned into organic waste to keep concerts eco-friendly.
How fun. Soup and a show.
Soup and a show. Imagine going to that. Now, I did listen to some of them, and I'm going to be so honest. Some of them sound like shit. A lot of them, I like. The woodwinds are fine. I don't like when they start getting like screechy. It was like someone didn't finish carving that zucchini.
Oh, it wasn't tuned.
No, it wasn't tuned, and we don't need like a yucca flout, you know? We don't need flutes. A flautist, but it's a flute, right?
I just think to go on air, on record, and to shit on the yucca flute was just diabolical.
Well, I did it because you didn't listen to the music. Now, a lot of it does kind of sound like spa music.
Ethereal.
Oh my God. I wonder how that fucking magic melon would sound as a bongo.
The French melon in a very specific region, by the way, that's always unnamed.
Is it just called the French melon?
I don't think they want you to know. Because then if the secret's out,
everybody can go harvest.
Beauty. It's just average beauty.
Or what if they're harvested and like being made in a lab?
I hope they're making soup with the aftermath.
Oh my God, that would be a delight. Okay, so So yeah, they're serving soup at a show. I love that. Soup in a show. The orchestra told Guinness World Records the only one subject that is off limits during their concerts, asking whether the musicians are vegetarians. Quote, no, we are not. Don't ask. We've heard that question 3 million times.
And you know what? It is triggering. And I can't speak for them, but they're speaking for themselves. And they asked a simple favor.
Uh-huh.
So Blake Lively bounce off.
Blake Lively bounce off here and again. So that was that was my article. However, I did find a secondary article because it was so short, but I was like, what the fuck? So this really quickly, the secondary article again by Ben Hooper from UPI is Pokémon-Shaped Flamin' Hot Cheeto sells for $87,000.
That's fuck you money.
A single flaming hot Cheeto shaped like Charizard from the Pokemon anime and gaming franchise was auctioned for $87,840.
That's happened a lot with weird shaped food. And what are people doing with it?
I don't know. It was called Cheeto because it's shaped like a Charizard. Of
course.
If anybody was wondering. It was sold, the bidding started at $250 and it quickly shot up, and an unnamed bidder bid for $72,000 flat plus a buyer's premium, which brought the total to over $87,000. And it's only 3 inches long, and it's kept in a little memorabilia box. And it says that the company that got its hands on it, because it was a company that put it up for auction, called Goal Collectibles, they got it somewhere between 2018 and 2022.
I was going to say that, like, yeah, well, first of all, when did you get it?
That's what I'm saying.
Just write it down.
It's literally sold for almost $90K, and you're like, wow, I have no idea when we got it.
They probably bought it for like $1.
What sicko bought that? I want to see it.
I also think that a Cheeto would maintain its shape.
Oh, it did.
So
and
it's going to continue to.
It's going to continue to.
Those don't deteriorate. They kind of just stay. I would honestly, I haven't had a crunch. It wasn't. I'm assuming it was a crunchy Cheeto and not like a puff.
It was a Flamin' Hot Cheeto. Yeah, it was the crunchy.
Flamin' Hot.
Do they make puffs Flamin' Hot?
They do, and I'll tell you this. Thank God you brought this up, because I've been waiting for fucking ever to talk about this. Flaming Hot isn't good on everything. Some things it doesn't work for. The Flaming Hot puffs, there's something off. The texture, the crunch, it's not good. So they do, but it's not good. Thank you for letting me say that.
Thank you for sharing that. Everybody avoid that when you go down the chip aisle.
Oh my God, my Crocs are a meaningful beauty.
Melon. They are.
Thank you.
Gorgeous. Okay, so what is your story? Share with us.
It comes from the Associated Press article by James Robson, and the article title is "This Wild Ancient Version of Soccer Has Rules Like No Murder and Is Still Being Played Today."
Okay.
So, every year, thousands of people descend on a small town in the English countryside to watch a 2-day game of mass street football that to the casual observer could easily be mistaken for a riot.
Football, not football American?
Soccer, yeah.
Okay.
But we'll say football because that's respectful of the culture. But for Americans that listen, it is soccer. So it's called Royal Shrovetide.
Of course it is.
A centuries-old ball game played in Ashbourne, Derbyshire, that frankly looks nothing like the world's most popular sport, or any other game of that matter. It's like tug of war without the rope, said Natalie Wakefield, 43, who lives locally and has marshaled the event in the past. It's mad in the best way possible. Played between 2 teams of hundreds of players.
Nightmare.
The game is to goal at either of the 3-mile or 5-kilometer sector that could take the match through rivers, hedgerows, high streets, and just about anything or anywhere except for the churchyards, cemeteries, or places of worship. So basically, it's 5 miles long, there's a goal on either side, and it's played by 2 teams of hundreds of people, and they have to get the ball from the middle to one end or the other by any means necessary. You just can't go through the church or the cemetery, and it's like a free-for-all. It's madness. The video is insane. I've never heard of this. It's in one place in the entire world every year, and it's so feral. It's feral hog behavior.
Can anybody just show up, or do you have to like register and get a penny?
I think you have to be local. I think you can only play if you're born there.
Okay.
It's such you can watch. Of course you can show up and watch.
No, but I mean, like, is it open? You know how it's like, oh, let's go have like a little game down by the thing, or do you have to show up like a triathlon or like a 5K or something and have like a bib?
I don't think you're bibbed. I think it's more of like honor system.
Oh.
I'll get into a little bit more. So the ball is thrown into the crowd that moves like a giant herd, right in the middle of town, basically, as each team tries to carry it towards their desired goal. Rules are limited, but no murder was an early stipulation for the game that dates back to at least the 1600s.
Oh my God.
I know.
I thought it was going to be like it's been going on since the 80s.
No, 1600s.
Yeah, like the 1680s. Jesus.
Good players need to be hard, aggressive, and authoritative, says Mark Harrison, who's goaled in 1986 and is one of the multiple generations of scorers in his family. You can't practice. The 62-year-old Harrison adds, he stopped competing 7 years ago and now serves up burgers to throngs of spectators from a street food truck because people watch.
Smart.
You've got to get in there and be rough. I'm a rugby player. I'm also an ex-boxer, so that helps. So Harrison had the honor.
Like fighting he was previously a boxer, not ex-box.
It's very more to me like rugby.
Yeah.
So this guy Harrison, he was recounting that he had the honor of carrying the then Prince Charles on his shoulders when in 2003 the now King of England opened that year's games. So he came in and was like, let the games begin. And they put him on his shoulders. And he said he loved it.
Of course he did.
He was like, those naughty boys.
Naughty boys, get the ball to the other side.
So it's played over Shrove Tuesday, which I'm not sure that's some sort of holiday, and into Ash Wednesday every year. The event is a source of immense pride for the people of Ashbourne in Derbyshire.
Babe, you're saying the craziest words.
Well,
Shrove Tuesday after Manic Monday.
No, well, Shrove Tuesday is probably some sort of religious holiday because we know what Ash Wednesday is, and it's in Ashbourne in Derbyshire. Yet such unifying tradition is actually based on splitting the town into two halves between the upwards and the downwards, determined by whether the players are born on the north or the south of the river Henmore. So the river breaks the town up, and you can only play on your birthright if you're born south of the river or north of the river, and that's how the teams divide.
Oh my God, it's like the Upper East Side versus Dumbo.
Isn't that like crazy though?
That is.
On any other day, Ashbourne, around a 3-hour drive from London, is a quiet and picturesque town with high streets lined by antique shops, cafes, and traditional pubs. Visitors include hikers, cyclists, campers. It's like a normal, kind of cute town. For 2 days, that all changes. There's play zones that are put up in town. So basically, right before, they're like, move your goddamn car.
It's going to get fucked.
We can't stop people from knocking out a window because if someone gets the ball, you gotta go. You gotta goddamn go because it's like insane. Hundreds of people are fighting over this ball. It's insane. So they're like, move or whatever. And there are people who watch, but like people kind of stand from afar back.
I would be on a rooftop.
But it's scary because it can kind of move towards you. So if you're like on the street, like in a split second, you can get mobbed.
That's why I would go from a rooftop.
Yeah, you're fine on the rooftop because they wouldn't be up there. That'd be crazy. So like parents with strollers are like watching from afar because it's scary. There are people who come and they have a drink and they'll just be like, this is a bit of crazy thing and it's a spectacle. And now I've seen it, box ticked. So people will come and be like, I want to come watch it.
I'm saying, I just got a really strange feeling in my entire body. And you know how sometimes like you covered the story of the ducks and then we ended up at that hotel?
Oh, if we're going to go to this?
I'm just because we didn't seek out going to, what was that hotel? The Duke?
No. I forgot the name of it right now.
The hotel in Tennessee, the Peabody. The Peabody. We didn't choose to go there. We were placed
the universe places there on a trip.
Yeah, so I feel like that's going to happen to us one of these years. We're going to end up at this. I'm not participating, but I would love to watch.
The leather ball is the size of a large pumpkin.
The quaffle.
Filled with cork and ornately painted, it is thrown into what is called a hug of players at the very beginning of the game. And then they're off. So as a spectator sport, apparently it can be kind of confusing, especially in the beginning, because everyone's like, where's the ball? I cannot see. Because in the very beginning, it's just a giant mob. It has to kind of break out because where it starts is in a car park, like literally a parking lot.
Oh.
I think they just need a space that has a ton of like space because in the very beginning, before it kind of gets madness and breaks off, like where can they fit everybody? It's like, hello, like just get over it.
Maybe an American football field?
This is like, you're being crazy right now. This is not about America right now.
I'm just trying to, I'm talking size-wise, of course.
So last year it took 45 minutes for it to break out of the car park. A ball is gold when it hits 3 times against one of the milestones or the millstones at either end of the town in Clifton or Sturston. So they have to take the ball and go boom, boom, boom. And then they like, goal.
If you're the other team to get your goal, you have to go 3 miles the other side.
3 miles. So probably a mile and a half because it's like you're in the middle.
Yeah.
And the whole stretch of it is 3 miles.
But that's what I'm saying. But if the goal is on the other side, you have to go 3 miles all the way back.
I wonder if it resets in the middle because usually there's only 1 point scored. It's kind of like it's like a low scoring game because it's like so intense. But if you score, you get to keep the ball. And in this game, like it's so treasured. Like if you score a goal in this, you're essentially an Olympian in the town. Like you will go down in history as like, oh, in this year you were the scorer. Like it's actually like so rare that they even get a ball, that like it's you put it on your mantle for the rest of your
life.
But
he's getting his own mug at Rose Alley.
Yeah. So, and then I was like doing more research about it, and they were talking about these like iconic years. And one year, like people will pretend they have the ball and they're like holding it close to them, but they'll sneak it behind them. And one year they snuck it to like a kid who was like 12, and he ran a mile with it. And like this, like one of the biggest upsets in the game's history. Like everyone's like, where's the ball? And he's on a side street that no one even knew about, and he's gunning for it. But it's so serious that they'll have like people randomly throughout the town like looking. Spies. They will go into the river up to the knees in water running with this ball. Like besides like cemeteries and churches, it could be anywhere in the town. Like people are going everywhere through the forest. Like,
oh my God, you said forest. I was thinking Forrest Gump when he's running.
It's literally insane. In this, they interviewed this 75-year-old in town, and I'll end on this. He goes, I just live and breathe it. He's been going to this yearly thing since he was 1 year old. And he goes, I can't sleep because I'm so excited. It's so lovely to think that all these people still want to come here and watch this beautiful game that we've got in our town.
Oh, that's sweet. We can all come together for the love of the game.
For the love of the game.
This episode is sponsored in part by Progressive Insurance. Fiscally responsible, financial geniuses, monetary magicians. These are things people say about drivers who switch their car insurance to Progressive and save hundreds. Because Progressive offers discounts for paying in full, owning a home, and more. Plus, you can count on their great customer service to help you when you need it. So your dollar goes a long way. Visit progressive.com to see if you could save on car insurance. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states or situations.
Grab your bug juice and bear spray, campers. It's time to pack it up and take a hike.
Welcome back to Take a Hike. This is the part of the show where we bitch a little and we tell something to take a hike. I'm going to tell the truck that is trying to parallel park out the window to take a hike. This man's been trying to parallel park. I've had to edit it out. We have at least 10 minutes of footage that I had to edit out because this man has been backing up his big fat van ass truck.
And I just checked, the space is so huge. If I had a gun, I would shoot a hole in his tire.
Oh my God.
I'd open the window. I almost want to open the window and say, shut the hell up. Like they would do in Italy back in the day.
Oh, okay. So take a hike to that man parallel parking the van. But also to this new craze that's been happening that I hadn't really heard about until Kira, friend of the pod,
they know,
told us about water shots.
Oh, very viral on TikTok right now.
Yeah. And now I'm seeing it everywhere because I looked up like what people are actually doing. So essentially a water shot is exactly what you would think that it is in a bar setting where instead of buying a clear liquor of a sort, you are given water as a shot. And it's usually done as a prank if people are sending a drink. Like Kira said it was someone's birthday and these guys were trying to have her send to the birthday girl that they didn't know a bunch of water shots for her friends. I'm like, that's a fart in a spacesuit. That is tits on a fish. That's a waste of everyone's time.
Well, if I was the bartender and someone gave me $10 and said, do this, I would.
Okay, valid. But also maybe just save the $10 and buy her like an actual shot.
It's like, it's harmless. It's a little hurtful, but like, so is life.
I guess. I just think it's a waste of everybody's time. It's a waste of water. I think it's stupid. And I think water shots need to take a hike. And if anybody...
I'm going to get you when like literally campers, I promise you on my word, I will get Jonathan a water shot and I will record it and we'll post it here. Come on. And then now you'll feel like it was worth it because the campers want to see it.
Fine. And then maybe I'll change it to a crush of the week. But until then, it is categorized
I love it when it can switch.
The hike of a lifetime goes out to water shots. So what are you telling to take a hike?
It's when people drive when there's like a long line in an exit or like a lane to like get off a highway or to merge, and someone drives all the way to the front of it and tries to cut it at the end to cut the line of everyone respectfully waiting.
Yeah, that's very annoying.
It's just it's in poor taste, but I have to be honest. Sometimes I do that. I do. And I'm
not going to say anything.
But you know when there's a long line and you got to get home to go pee-pee.
I know.
Or poo-poo. No, it's not a good quality, but the reason, and I want to talk about this next story that I just saw that happen that I loved, but I had to bring up this to set it up, but then I also had to be honest with the campers and tell them that I do it sometimes. And I know it's not good.
Okay, well, at least you can tell yourself to take a hike.
Yeah, so I'm included. We all have our moments. But I was driving, I took the car into Manhattan. So unheard of, but I was like, I don't want to sit in the subway for an hour. And my appointment was 45-minute drive or like a 55-minute subway ride on the upper west side, east side. And it was a doctor's appointment. So I was like, I'm going to like take the car, park it in a parking garage for like $15 and then be in my own space. I can take phone calls, whatever. So the traffic was bad getting over the bridge into Manhattan. And it's kind of this like confusing route where there's like 3 lanes and basically like it backs up for a half a mile at least and takes forever to get through these streets. So when I got to the end of it, there was a left lane that was turn only. And then there was 2 lanes to the right that would go straight, which I need to do. So I'm patiently waiting in this lane. I'm not cutting around. And when I was getting closer, I noticed something that was so amazing. There was a crossing guard working. And basically, when people would be in the left lane trying to cut up to the front, he would make them turn left on this like long, I think it was 2nd Ave or something like that. And it was like, and you'd have to go down like at least 3 blocks to make the turn. And it probably
to make a one-way back.
Yeah, it would actually set you further back than waiting in the real line. And people would get to the front and they'd be like, please let me get over. And he'd be like, go or you're getting a ticket. And he was being such like very like mean about it.
Well, it's New York. It's literally New York, New York.
But I watched so many people so defeated because they thought they were sneaking around and being assholes, but they got their choices there.
Oh my God, you dumb C words. I love that. He said, you know what? Karma is a bitch and it will always get you, but sometimes she needs a little kickstart and I can help that happen. Mm-hmm. Go down 2nd Ave, bitch.
And then I threw nails out the window.
Toenails?
No. Construction nails.
Oh.
So I was popping tires at the same time.
Oh, I love that. Like jacks.
Jacks.
Did you ever play jacks?
I thought it was something only in old cartoons.
I played jacks a couple of times in my day. It's a very lonely game.
That's when you like throw the ball and you have to pick up all the pieces and you're like, I did it. And then no one's around to celebrate. So you're like, I'll try again.
Yeah. And the jacks that are metal, they like hurt your hand when the ball comes back into your hand because you got to catch the ball.
Yeah. Can they make them soft? Soft jacks?
No.
Not possible.
No way.
It reminds me of Yahtzee, a game I do love.
Oh, we love Yahtzee. We haven't played Yahtzee in a fortnight.
Do you think the new counselor likes the top bunk or the bottom bunk? Over.
Either way, I'm giving them my boondoggle keychain. Over.
Welcome back to Camp Crush of the Week. I feel it in my bones. I am in love. I must atone. Jonathan.
That's pretty.
Who are you snogging this week? What are you snogging?
This is not fucking sponsored, but it should be, unless this company's problematic. I didn't do that much research, so in my head, it's all innocent. But my Camp Crush goes out to U-Haul trucks. And I'll tell you why. Why don't you ask me? Yeah, why don't you ask me why?
Why do you love U-Haul trucks?
Because the graphics on the side. I love to see, where was this little bitch born? Like, where is this truck coming from? Like, it's probably not where the actual people are coming from, because, you know, you're driving from Arizona all the way to like Fort Worth, and you just drop it off there, and now Fort Worth has an Arizona truck. But on the side of all of them, they have all of the cities.
Do you think the marketing team is giving the Massachusetts U-Hauls that have Alaska prints on them to kind of spice it up? Or do you think all of those are truly from where they're from?
I feel like they're probably just all actually, that's a good question. I don't know.
They've been around for so long that the chances of them really being mixed up in the trail mix bag is quite possible.
Yeah, because they don't have to do much.
We must have a camper that works for U-Haul.
Yeah.
Statistically, come on, step forward. And you've been waiting for this moment.
No, yeah. Let thy be known. Pollinators, not a lot of them are in circulation, but there have been over 250. And I just wanted to point out a couple of the
different ones.
250 different graphics on the side. They remind me of postcards. They do.
The postcards of the highway.
Yes. Oh my God. What a great way to put it. So I wrote down 4 that I really like. Number 91. North Carolina, the Venus flytrap.
Oh, I think I've seen that one.
I have seen it. I've absolutely seen it. And lest we forget about the Venus flytrap.
I have never forgotten about her. I think about her every day, actually.
I love a Venus flytrap. Okay, number 85, Vermont. Champ, the sea monster of Lake Champlain.
I don't think I've seen that one.
It's spooky. That one's almost too scary. Not as scary as number 130, who's clocking in, Nova Scotia, who has a ghost ship that's on fire.
Come, put these back in circulation.
All of the ones I'm naming are currently in circulation, so don't you fret.
Well, that makes sense why we haven't seen Nova Scotia, because maybe she's not making her rounds down here.
Yeah, I did look up her picture.
So that kind of sets the tone. But I've seen Venus. I've seen her.
I've seen Venus. I've seen Mars. And my personal favorite, number 80. New Mexico.
Seen her.
Which is the alien with the crash-landed spaceship behind it.
Nothing can brighten up a road trip quite like a U-Haul can.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, this was such a great marketing moment. Usually you're playing I Spy, but that gets real old real quick. Say something blue one more time and I will knock you out. Or you're playing the license plate game, which is like, whatever, you know?
Yeah.
But then you see these U-Hauls and they have fun facts written on them. That's great for kids, you know? And it's great branding. You know it's a U-Haul. No one's hauling like U-Haul's hauling, except for maybe Safeway. Who was the people who moved us?
Oh, Roadway.
Heart Roadway. I Heart Roadway.
Have you ever rented a U-Haul?
Yes.
Have you ever driven a U-Haul?
I drove a U-Haul, not the giant truck, but the giant van.
I'll never forget picking up my merch from the printers in Acushnet, Massachusetts during COVID when I sold my black I Like a Nice Coffee Sue Me t-shirts. I rented a U-Haul by myself, drove it to the printers, loaded up 8 giant boxes of t-shirts, drove it to my house, parallel parked it on the streets of New Bedford, brought the boxes upstairs, and I had my little U-Haul, and I felt so mask for mask.
No, you
and they have a big leather bench seat, and when you go over a speed bump and those shit, you're going crazy.
They like bounce.
Oh my God, you bounce on those things. Suspension, wild.
I love that. We'll have to rent one just for shits and giggles, and then we can drive through Manhattan.
They're really easy to rent. They're really not as when you need it, you need it. So it's like you can't even like complain about the price because like, what's your other option?
Yeah, a friend that you hate that you're like, hey, haven't talked to you in months. I know you have a truck.
Yeah.
My God.
It's a great equalizer.
Yeah. But what I also will say about their website, they have a lot of the backstories of each of them. Like when you go on, they're actually trademarked. It's called U-Haul Super Graphics. It has the little registered thing. It's not trademarked, it's registered. And their website has all the facts about why they chose it. There's like at least 10 links on each thing that relate to stories that are outside of the U-Haul website. And every design you've seen on a U-Haul truck has a free printable coloring book page that you can get on their website.
So fun. And thank you for taking the time to highlight something that I've never heard anyone really talk about in this length.
I was thrilled and excited about it. I had written it down when we were traveling for, I hate saying the T word because we've said it so much, but when we were traveling for tour because we'd spent a lot of time traveling. And I was like, I love those. And I felt my feelings, which was excitement. And I said, I'm going to write this down and talk about this on the podcast. And
well, thank you for bringing it to our ears.
You're welcome. What are you crushing on?
Going out to eat with a gift card.
Okay.
Woo! I didn't have to pay for it. Somebody else did. I haven't had a gift card to a restaurant in a long time. And we went out to eat last night on my team's dime. They sent me a little gift card for the holidays to my favorite Italian restaurant in New York. It's called Boca de Bacco. And it's on nobody's hit list except ours. Like,
we've talked about it on a trail mix for sure.
I know. I just like when you go to like New York, you guys, and everyone's like, where to eat? They're going to give you a list of places that are so impossible to get into. But I'm promising you, like, if you just go with your gut and you walk by a place and you look at the menu and go, oh, this is good. I promise you it's probably going to be good. Like sometimes.
Maybe look up reviews, but.
Yeah, look up reviews.
Agree.
But like, I don't think anyone's screaming about Boca de Bacco except us. We go in there and we're like waving to the chef. But they got us a gift card there. And
I know your team knows we love it there.
No, because I really brought my manager there. I was like, she's like, where do you want to eat? Trying to go somewhere bougie. I'm like, this place is so good. It's really not that bougie. It's like, it's not at all.
It's nice.
The pastas are like $20.
Bathroom is kind of spooky, so I hate using the bathroom there.
And the bathroom is bad. And the bathroom is bad.
Yeah, they gotta figure that out. But I love the penne alla vodka.
Well, I just like really enjoy. We took a subway and we went to see a show yesterday that I was given tickets to for this new Broadway show called All Nighter that we'll probably talk about on a trail mix. But we went there. So we had free tickets to the show. We took the subway in, which was $2.75, and then we had dinner paid for. And it's like a date night on somebody else's dime. What a treat.
Cheap as chips.
And I always think it's the best gift to give somebody. If you don't want to get somebody, get them a gift card to go out to eat. And it doesn't have to cover the whole bill. You could give somebody a $25 gift card to a restaurant. They weren't going to get the appetizer, but now they are because of you. And to give the gift of a good meal and conversation with a loved one, is there anything better?
Well, let's talk about this, Miss Breadbasket. We got your parents a gift card 2 Christmases ago that had a decent amount of money on it. That restaurant has since closed.
And whose fault's that?
The restaurant owner.
My mom. For not going because they weren't feeling Italian. I said, you haven't been feeling Italian for 700 days?
And then we see her last time, and you know what your mother says to me? Did you try that new restaurant? I was like, the restaurant that took the place of what we got you a gift card for that you didn't go to? And that was a good restaurant, but we haven't tried it.
They'll honor it.
Oh, they better.
They will.
What song's been stuck in your head all week? Welcome to Camp Songs.
Welcome back to Camp Songs. Oof. I wish I could play a guitar right now because I'd strum a little. I simply would strum so much for you campers if I could.
A guitar made out of carrots.
Sandwich used to be able to strum the guitar, but ever since he had that wood chipper accident.
Oh no.
No, it's actually fine from afar, but the closer you get to him, it becomes quite sad. For him and for us and for the lack of insurance we offer, it's kind of a mess. But
I was thinking that his guitar went into the wood chipper, but it was something more nefarious.
Oh, the case is still open. We can't even speak about it.
Okay.
Because one thing about an open case,
that's never closed.
It's open case at camp. If a case is opened at camp, we're not closing it. Pandora's box, it's open in the middle of the basketball court. Don't close it. It's got to stay open. Jonathan,
yes.
In that basketball court, covered.
Babe, I just want to talk about my song. I'm actually like genuinely so excited to talk about it. So
one thing, the basketball court covered in pine needles. Can't even bounce a ball on it. It's all wet.
Oh my God, that's the worst.
That's see, you wanted to hear it. What's your song? What's your song?
Okay, so I'm so excited about the song, you guys. Okay, so my camp song, I heard on TikTok in a clip. And it sounded so nostalgic, and I could have sworn up and down I heard it before. I was like, oh my God, what is this Y2K, late 90s, early 2000s soft dream pop song that is tickling my ears? And then I realized that the person who had posted it was in this band called After, and the song wasn't out yet.
I hate that.
So I was commenting on all the videos. I'm like, waiting for this to come out, waiting for this to come out,
Algorithm
waiting for
pulled
this
me
to come
back.
out. Y'all, as we record this, as I live and breathe, as I fart into this cushion beneath my ass, the song came out today.
Woo!
I listened to it 5 times this morning and I DM'd the band. It is so fucking good and incredible. The song is called 300 Dreams by the band called After. It is a duo. They make they say trip hop, soft pop, rock, Y2K, 90s. It sounds like a song you've heard. I cannot stress this enough. I don't think there's a single person out there, especially who listens to this podcast, that would listen to this song and not like it, or that would listen to the song and not listen to it for a second time. It is so good. It is very reminiscent of the Cranberries or Alanis Morissette,
Love.
Sixpence None the Richer, Michelle Branch, Vanessa Carlton. It really does sound, and I hate to compare because I mean, sound-wise, that's what it sounds like. But I feel like they're not redoing something. I think they're just kind of revitalizing this genre, and I'm so psyched and excited about it to hear an old sounding nostalgic song that is new and actually good. And their music videos, I'm sure they'll have a music video for this. They did a lot of videos promoting it, but their music videos that they currently have out are so like Y2K and not in like a glamorous bubblegum pink type way, but like a genuine like if I saw this and I didn't know who the band was, I would be like, oh, this must have came out in the 90s or 2000s.
Garden State Y2K.
Yes. And they're not trying too hard, but they're just like, they have this aesthetic. I wish them nothing but success. I am so excited about this song. I really am.
And they're relatively unknown.
Yeah.
They're newer.
And that is...
Well, not newer, but they're just like not mainstream yet.
Yeah. And I think they will be.
I think it was really exciting last year when I got our campers hip to a new artist, Ryla Chance, who had that song Widows of Normandy. And a lot of you DM me that she was in your top on Spotify. So how exciting is it to have a platform where we can bring awareness and streams to newer or upcoming artists?
300 Dreams by Afters. Oh, look at the state of me. I'm always falling down. You're going to listen to it and say, gosh darn, I'm glad I listened to that. Okay, I'm sorry. I haven't been that excited.
Be excited.
I mean, Lady Gaga's episode last week, I was pretty excited about. But this one, I've been waited with baby's breath for it to drop.
We're being spoiled right now with good new music.
We're being spoiled rotten, like a rotten little cabbage that was thrown off the stage at that concert.
Ooh, okay. From St. Patrick's Day's past.
So, what is... I feel like my body's buzzing. What is your camp song?
I feel the same about my song.
Is it Christina Aguilera?
No, it's a song I saw on TikTok be promoted this month, and I've been freaking out, waiting for it to come out, and it just finally dropped on Wednesday. So it'll be a week old when you guys hear this episode. The song is Relationships by Haim.
Haim.
Oh my God. The way I've been sleeping on the Haim sisters my entire life. Their first album, I believe, was 2014. I remember when they were coming out, and I just, for a decade, had been a little resistant to them. Like, they'd come out and I'd be like forced to listen to it and be like, oh, they're good, but never like truly gave them a real listen. I am so into these girls like nothing else right now. They're so good. And this song, the promo they were doing on TikTok, I was so amped for it. I loved the hook in it, and it came out and I listened to the full thing and I'm like, oh my God, I cannot stop listening to it. It's like summer came early with this one.
You're a Hymanista. You're a Hyman.
Like, I knew it was going to be good because the cover art for it was a reference of Nicole Kidman's famous photo of her dancing in the street after divorcing Tom Cruise. That classic photo. So that's the cover art for it. I'm sorry. I'm so excited. It's very also nostalgic and sound from 90s, 2000s, but with an R&B kind of twist. It's like if Natalie Imbruglia made a song with like Ashanti.
Oh.
And that's not the best analogy, but that's what I'm going to give you. Like, but it's so them and it's so fresh. They haven't had a new song out or a new album since 2020. So we've been waiting 5 years for new music. And when they tour, I made Jonathan promise to get me tickets because it is so good. And for our single campers out there who are not into like dating right now, this is your anthem right now. Like, it's so about like, why are relationships so difficult? I'm so not into it. Like, I'm over it. It's such a good song. The video is so good. Someone described the video on YouTube. I loved it. They said 90s Calvin Klein, effortless, gorgeous, clean, and amazing as like the vibe of it.
I love.
And the video has Drew Starkey.
I know exactly who that is, but Ramon Campers, who might not.
I don't really know who he is.
I don't know either.
I know him by face. I know him by name. He was in that show or movie Love, Simon. Kind of a heartthrob. He was in that new movie with Daniel Craig, that queer movie called Queer. He's a really like respected actor, and he's so hot. Sorry, he is. He's very hot. And in the entire video, Danielle, who's like the lead singer of the group Haim, is also like the lead in this music video. Like, they give her like the forefront, and she's so hot with him, and it's very like clean and just fun, but also like a great vibe with its R&B undertone with the beat. It's amazing. It's such a good song. It's a song I'll play for like the rest of my life. Like, it's not going to be a flash in the pan song for me. Like, I will go back to this song when I'm cooking, when I'm driving, when I need a little vibe moment. Like, it's just amazing. So I hope you check it out. I think you're going to like it. As always, the songs are listed in the episode description. Free playlist on Spotify for all of our campers. And it's also a free YouTube playlist as well.
Really quick, talking about the Haim sisters. Can you tell the campers the fun facts that you found out this morning.
Yeah, well, it's not going to make sense to them. It's more of like an us thing.
Yeah, but people will know.
I didn't know the names of the sisters. I knew Danielle was the lead, but I didn't know the other two names. And there's still a sister. I have not found out her name yet. It's a Google search away.
Mystery sister.
But one of them, I didn't know until today. Her name was Esty. And in that song I referenced last week.
Yeah. That's
so funny. No Body, No Crime by Taylor Swift, because Haim's in that song as well. Oh my God, they're getting a lot of airplay on this podcast right now. In one part in that song, it's the part of the song that I hated so much that now I love it. Taylor Swift goes, Essie's sister swears she was with me. She was with me, dude. Taylor goes, she was with me, dude. And it's so cringy. It's almost so good.
Right. But we were listening to it in the car and we were like, SD. Like, we were like, why would she pick that name in this song?
No, I knew it was Esty. Like, I knew the name was Esty, probably for like Esther. But I was like, what a random name.
Esty because Haim was in the song and they said Esty's sisters. We're going to say she was with me. Wait,
Esty's sisters swear they were with me or whatever. So like the sisters. Oh my God. So it really was about them.
Oh my God.
Wow, we're connecting the dots.
The dots, consider them connected. However, the case never closed.
It can't be closed at Camp Shady Birch. Cases cannot be closed at Camp Shady Birch.
And that's just what it is. Thank you guys so much for listening to this fabulous episode. How am I going to come down off of this one?
We're going to listen to music after this. And you're going to buy me a beer. You said you would.
I will. I will. Don't you fret. Campers, hey, we hope you're having a fabulous day. Have you told yourself you love yourself? Look in the mirror and say that today.
Well, we love you.
Because we love you. And give us a 5-star rating and review wherever you can. Tell us how much you love us.
You are sick in the head. Put them down. Euthanasia. That's it for today's episode. And with that being said,
lights out, campers.